Hey, don't mind me. I decided to do this here. Who am I? I don't know anymore. This is some old writing. I'm going through some writings that I got back from my brothers. And this I remember when it was written and what it's about, kind of. Well, I know what it's about, but I'm just going to do it. It's called The Last of the Revenge Poems. I was in early 20s, I guess. With all the Furies on you, feeding on your flesh, do you not feel the judgment of the god of stone who knows no time? Do you feel the gut, the fang? Hand baked, hacked by the cooling fan, I feel the blood, the spirit numbing, and the lash, and sick, and fining by the wound. Hand naked and gory by a lazy morning god. Happy. And then I try to say reality. Reality, I have mine, you have yours, no more. That gone. And do you feel me try my body, cold and bent, to escape, and the trap of life and life's denials. Body failed but hardening. Seeking out to stand, now ground, I take and say, do you love me then? For why was I let to leave? I would have stayed for you, had you been true. Oh, I love you so. If you come to me, we would all be free. I need you so. I found more than love deserved. I loved more than love deserved, and so get the less of that. A good friend is worth more than 10 miles of spit, and so if a good friend spits on you, go walk 10 miles. Oh, I know exactly when that was. Oh, yeah, Russell and Scotty. Russell, Rudy. Yeah, one day, Rudy, one thing you didn't do, bro, you gotta make a mistake, guys like you gotta worry about if they ever turn into a writer and not a painter like your friend that met Dolly. Yeah, you gotta consider who I met and who I was with you. Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Yeah, there's things there I hope to find, like the Whips and Marish Kagel. I remember it was the Babylonian thing I wrote. Yeah, why not? It all fell off. Summer dust. Summer dust. Oh, I thought I knew you so well. And here you are again, oh drunken spring. I'll falter on a sunny day, the frozen peace breaking as an icy stream in throw and flow. A summer blossoming out of dust, a dream cast aside before the summer dust. The summer dust, the summer dust. Ah, that I shall never see, never know you well. And when these years drawn on its towering age, and when these hours passed, but moments left, unconceived, conceited, left without twain, worn out, left aside, worn out, then what will I know of the dust and the summers and the winds of my mountain birth? For I will have gone on, and is no longer care or know, but of a distant summer, the storm and the choking of the dust. Long ago, on the West Pavilion Row, high, screaming, sobbing, tired beyond all knowing, all will, I staggered, reeling into the thundered night, feet clawing the gravel, the dust, the stones, and I left that place. I left that, and I felt its time no more, and its weight. So be now, with the rumblings of the urgent spring, the fallings into upon of the summer dust, which I always thought I knew so well. Wow, sorry. I was 20. Really bad. much heartbreak, I guess you could say, is what that's about. Yep. That's in my bio. Anybody wants to write it? It's a long story. I'm not in the mood right now. From Bram Stoker's Dracula, on just one page. Listen, hear the voices of the children of the night. Are they not beautiful? Passion past, anguish dust, honor loathed, and times that must lead from the ancient road. Truth spoiled, love lost, and beauty's woes that rob justice of ancient pride and glory of its human voice. Human rights. Anguish dust, passion past, the long sad journey now at last, coming upon you in more pleasant veils, with sweet love song and unsung tales, and love to lie in lovers' arms in an unflown bower in endless dark. Anguish past in dust, these are the seeds of the beast's lust. The fruit of these loins is the love of love, and no pain, no more is the rub. Lady Fate's fortune's fate, in calm melancholy at last debates. Passion past, anguish dust, anguish passion, past in dust. Been reading some Sir Philip Sidney, if anyone knows what a double cestate is. Inspired by one of those. Sort of. That singing the way you remix the words at the end there and make a new couplet is sort of the way it's done. Ooh, dark forces summoned if I read a lot of this shit. Running into the night. I just want to run away, just away, over, beyond, under, or just away. The road to hell and back to live, and the shame of waste. Express, energy, mass, majestic, driving wind, furies in the head, furies fleeting, possible paths, too many to grasp, power adrift, the peak of mist enshrouded, lost in the trackless course, careless, lust cold, dreams bold, nothing told, hold must, fold seems something mold. One day, far away and over the edge, roaming in the night, running into the night. I just want to run away, just away, now again and always more and away. I don't know. King H. Kafka? I don't know. What can I say? I can't say anything about what I once said. It's interesting to read this stuff. I never, some of this, certainly read it like as a mature adult that I am now. I was writing it as a troubled youth, you know. I'll read that one. I read it. This one I have typed up somewhere else. But I'll read it. This is the raw form of it. We roamed the road to Eldorado north, into the golden dream. Days on end we drove, asleep, awake, amazed at the wideness of the world. Night turned light. The lostling found the golden sarcophagus from frozen muck amid mountains shorn of wild. We spoke of shadows, talked of flesh, drank apart the day, and worked the Yukon night to feed our souls with cash. I left before the winter fell, yet stayed to feel the first cruel snow, to bid Dawson final farewell before the Arctic night's deathly sleep could seize your heart, and command your stay. The angry decade unfolds upon me. First kings, clubs, and old malice, vented on the burdens of the world, the truths of hate and war, the lost glory of long plundered gold. The Yukon locked by freeze up, the Klondike deep in new blown snow. 2,000 miles of wilderness from the horror of the raging world. That was for Billy. Shaking, I held you. In long gone night, darksome, hot, and moist with flesh and godly revelry. Spirit sends our sex, yet flesh in the flame of spirit, the vessel of experience and love and war. I held you, winsome, strong, and gentle, mouthed and loined. Love unburdened us of mind, our heart with gravity, our souls with light, instability frailed, and will unbroken. Love me now as you did then. These are the hours, our gate in time, to know eternity through power of our form. Love transcends the spirit, becomes body through pain and heart through woe. Hold me in the darkness, unknowing hold me against the night, and I am shadow to your light for your soul, cool in a fiery lamp. Spirit knows no law that cannot lie. Love burns time, the body burns love. Do angels weep when mortals die, as hearts break? When does heaven move? I kissed your brow and breast and knew your strength stretched out by my side. Our wills unchecked, we dreamed. Poets die of truth, athletes of their youth. I knew your love. Do not hate me so, or waste me for a friend, or only seeming friend. No, for always I will love you. That last line is added because I know exactly who that's for. There's one typed up, and one I just read, Eldorado. The Drunkard at the Feast. Let me take a drink, because I've never really read this one properly. This is an unrhyming sestiad, a double sestiad, except not a formal double sestiad, inspired by Sir Philip Sidney's Arcadia, the dialogue between the shepherds, which I really want to do up as a piece of music. The title is The Drunkard at the Feast. And then there's like a tenor kind of line, a solo line. And then there's 7-line verses, 7-line verses. So it's a heptad. But is all our empire now fallen? But is all that now fallen? Has stifled urge pent up been spent? Is confidence, nor will, nor enough, nor least? How can a moment's music, proviso tossed, be turned on spit and spat on page? Well done for toasting and roasting and devourance, more for connoisseurs than gluttons crit. Shapeless, endless, can it be unleashed without the driving in and driving out of the urge to fuel the fires of tongue and nonsense deep? Does this wording pace sound true? Do I speak of, in, not, or vain? Do I not hold more fast herein than any have sought to walk ere now? Am I heard, or are you but dumb, less mute? For the stillness of your own artifice, modern mock, simulacre of a jaded, heavy empire of glory lost, a pretension stretched to guile and final gullibility, purpose and talent broken into shards, jugs broken for frenzy's sake, driven by the drunkenness of your sour, rotten wine. What a feast this timely hour's orgy is. Hush, let the drunkard fix his speech and finish. Painted concubines, dour courtiers of art, what flavor is the gilding on your abasement's throne? Is it rich and meat enough for your consumption's palate? Is the gold tainted with the power and hardly pride? Behold, he has fallen drunk before the dais, swept away by wine, overcome by the stench of rot. Quick, let's cook him fast and score his bones that he may not utter this again. Certainly, in sooth, his fiber will be tasty and soft in our toothless gums. At last is the chorus of the part of the courtesans. Yeah, I never read that out loud. That's how that's supposed to be. Shakespearean delivery, and people go poetry. No, poetry, you got to like really, really calm and don't be dramatic. You shouldn't rhyme. And bugger off. Canada Council of Vampires, are you guys in academia teaching literature and how to not write it? Nope. Now I'll just sit and watch the stars come about my humble fire. Except it looks like this. It's meant to be one at a time. Nope. I'll sit and watch the stars come out above my humble fire. Last far golden, low fading beyond the valley's mouth. Small, this lake, and still a fire, camped, mirrored, reflected, pooled, its other end. Rocks, pale and steep yet dark, for the rising of the last spring moon. Sky, blue, and the shadowing to the hue of the endless night. First few stars beginning to pierce the firmament, to rise through, above its sky-drowning waters. The twilight is sharp on the pine spike canyon ridge. Cliff edges, bulges. Dim and growing twilight, the science brighter than the deepening night. Crickets shrill. Fire crackle, car across the canyon bottom, waterfall fall. I cannot name your sound. I cannot build this canyon here upon this page. Now, it's stop and drop this pen to watch the stars come out above and let the fire die. For sleep, embers covered with desert dust and kept from rekindling without need, lest the forest be inflamed and lost. Yeah, I had my moments. Sorry. I can laugh at myself because it's all this melodrama. Oh, why are you so serious? Well, it's a damn serious world. It's hard not to be. An old wives' tale. This is fun. Here's to the king of a lasting race. Oh, sorry. Not race. Sorry. I got to tidy this up. I'm about to do some papers go off my lap here. Here's to the king of a lasting peace. May his health and his wealth and his joy increase. Here's to the poor that starve for bread. May his fortune, his favor, ensure they be fed. Here's to the weight of many nationed earth. Build high your towers well, for soon come times of dearth. Woe betide the rich man's house, all safely silked and led abed, when the mass is hooved by horsemen's bout, and the gold is all run red. Fare hard, all hardy heroes bold. Fair heroes wreak warmth undying cold. Woe betide the rich man's wife, all jeweled with fine wrought fancy rings on, when Furies screams decree the strife of all the ages and all that sings. Harpers, struck up a mighty tune, prepare the rock for other runes. Foemen of the starving earth, your wealth is tallied by your gross-grown girth. Wretched of this ailing world, around your face a dragon's curled. Here's to the king, his most royal grace. May his scepter crown and blossom from war-bloodied mace. Here's to the tribes of the wild prestige. May his orb preserve their ancient green. Here's to the bane of history's book, for all that was wrote and all that was took. So I don't claim to be nobody. I was just going through my own poems. This is just stuff I wrote when I was young. It's pretty good, some of that. Laugh at the stuff I'm finding. I'm not going to read. I can't read all of it when I'm finding. Oh, yeah. The hot, dusty orchard strewn with thickets of the long-burred grass. The feet bid thither, visit above the turquoise snake, the waters of Seaton's lake. The eyes are brimmed with ancient wind, the hands beholding the rocks, the eyes behold the great arms of the secret dale, deep, deep in the mountain's folds. Forest chorus, the pines in the ancient wind around the twisting screes. Far booms the echo of the heroic thunder wire, the shadows of the titanic fire. This valley, bad to go, and lost, scarred by the descent of these booted feet that wandered past the sun-swelled village to a hot, dusty orchard strewn with thickets of the long-buried grass. Far below the gale-tossed alpine, at the high end of the high climb, the calls that crested mountain ridge, pine and spruce, to fall away into the childhood past, into the clatter of the echoes from the road beneath, as the Flatcar winds beneath the towered lake, back to the weeds at the end of the trail, the hellhole town. In summer, back to the ways where we shall pass again, to a hot dusty orchard and a long buried grass. Yeah, that was a specific summer. I was back in Seaton and wanted to go back there. It's one from was to Lillooet, and I couldn't remember which day I ran for the train. It was about coming back on the train. Yeah, this is like, I don't know, I was very interested kind of too. I lived outside a lot, It was good for a long time. Waking up, distant mountain, reaching for my mind as those unmade, never even dreamt of or desired, mountains standing in the sky are not the mountains, dark within, beneath the sun, filled with stone, west of time and eye, and rocks, hard truth. Our dreaming beings are broken with the action of waking day, like stone and field flung against mountain, canyon, crag, great forest, sleeping in the bright on the starlight at midsummer midnight, dreaming of the tale that plays upon the fire that is all things, the knowing is the source of all dreams, the surge of hearts whereby love's lost, the mortal drive within the God's old game. Waking up, the day broken, the mountain heaven by the steep shafts of light, the canyon deep in morning shadow, the air still, cold amid the trees, bracing cool the sound, yet hot for morning, and hotter still the day to come. Blue this sky of china plate and cerulean dust, almost gray in all its northernness. Ice blue, whereby the new is known. Now is known. Waking up, the sun, becoming on our shine before our eyes are cleared of sleep, the day brighter than can be born, the truth of being, even as the grass and sand and river, as purposeful and eternal as the shaping of the land, the turning of the stars. Wake up, our stars burn with the ending weight, the eternal dim that holds all matter and all the cast emptiness. We have ourselves nothing but space and distance, non-essential things I scratched out, and not distance, nay, not distance, and great mass. Move out, mankind, if yet there is a way, for here the gates of time are closed, this year, or in making yet, we must seek a way to climb the mountains of eternity and spread our numbers into the stars for our children to survive its mortal birth upon this lostling world. And I'm completely wrong about that now. Completely wrong. No. We have to deal with this planet very urgently. And that's kind of what's got me going through this. Because I've kept on saying, I've been telling you about science as a science student. I've been seeing this, the environmental problem. Ooh, And I've been seeing it since I was a little kid and trying to tell people to go, oh, you're crazy, you're communist, you're just a faggot, whatever. And what do you do for a living? Blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't rip people off for a living by charging them money for places they should be able to live for free. Especially if you're not the landlord, like the guy here wasn't. Yeah, okay, I'll read this one. And looked at the face of the world. And I saw their great gashes, wounds from some long torment that had marred the beauty of the wild land. The mountains were from nakedness and butchery. The forests moaned as if by some great razor. The rivers choked in their gorges and made to flood the secret places of their inner canyons. The wind blew from new quarters, driven by the changes wrought upon the land, carrying rains poisoned with foul smokes and oils, blowing over lakes, seas, and streams stinking of excrement and waste. A great sadness hung over those quarters of the planet where dreams had not yet become nightmares, where the stones still stood unmoved and the greenwood still verdant and lush. And already enough already was ruined of the mightiest of works that the survival of the few corners of it seemed either not possible or irrelevant. The great juggernaut of civilization had not yet come that way, yet even in the highest of the sacred plateau, even in the most remote of the wild vales and barrens where man had not yet dared come in great number, the ruin of the rest could be sensed in the changing winds, in the slow flux of the montane ices, in the tense sanctitude of the wildlife. The strains upon the harmony were laid as great weight upon the back of the continents. Ancient dragons of magma and sulfur began to stir beneath the ground, their fiery caverns preparing to unleash elemental fires and hurricanes of stone upon the land. During the remaining acres of land and pounds of flesh that had not been plundered or claimed, the nations of man continued to war, overpopulated and full of ungovernable woes. In the lust for divine power and rule of cosmos, the priests of men had uncovered the secrets of the fabric of matter, and uncoiled the twistings and bound atom to atom, rock to rock, soul to soul. And for these energies devised instruments of destruction, therefore unknown to plasmic life, and far beyond their capacity to control or judiciously apply. Such power they had concentrated to the art of war, they made it proof against their own security, the guarantee of their own species' mortality. The third planet of an inconsequential sun whirled silently on its ovular course, waiting a resolution of the forces marshaled upon its surface. A blue-gray ocean jewel festooned with greensward and jewel gold and diamond sands, sitting amidst its own ravage, awaiting destruction, isolated alone from the currents of galactic history. Into such a world was I born. Yeah, well, I wasn't exactly an intergalactic hitchhiker, that's for fucking sure. Yeah, well, he got here. He had to hitchhike. I don't think I did. I think a ship wrecked in here. What's a ship? That's a good question. You think a ship is a ship? Oh, come on. No, a ship is never a ship. It's like a cigar never being a cigar. And Mr. Lazzi had more together than Mr. Freud did. I can guarantee you that. I would know. Oh, geez, why did I say that? Oh, we're going to have to medicate you soon. I know a Pinewood mountain high, cold and barren, bald and frost would be at this hour of the year. I would go thither now, whereon to build a house and live into upon the Pinewood mountainside. Wide lands below, beyond, the gentle splendor of the earth unmarred, the world still right, unscathed. I would dwell there yet before cruel time comes to kill eternity, to kill the Pinewood mountainside. It's like this. It's written in like, I read in like verse form, you know. And yeah, I think in verse form, those are lines, you know. As an actor, I guess I come out that way. You know, am I an actor? No, I'm a poet who learned to act and pretend to be something less than I am. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be vain. It's just what it is. The snows of a winter, the snows of a newer winter, are a solace to me. The quiet proof it remembers, and the white extinguishment of the vain furious dreams of spring. Oh, what we got one. Desolation, far lands, unbidden, swarming into you. Inner sight, undoing their long history into the entwinings of your hands, broken by your glance and changed forever by your tread. They are unmade. Those ancient hills are crumbled by the will of man. Man's maps and chart their mystery, their blood is trapped to feed our rabid hordes. Ne'er more the mountains twist into the far never. Their gates are closed by the cracking of their names. Dreams of plateau twilight, canyons in the hidden moonlight, the even winds that sweep the mountain lakes, pines roaring at the end of day. Cold, cold, cold are the eternal stones. In other words, the taking of their names, the cracking of their names also came in. That was a rewrite. That was good. That was such a world was I born. This is all really old stuff. John O'Hara, this is all really old stuff you got me reading here, bro. Here we go. All right, get some water. This is my rhyming stuff. So where did this start? This is probably after the volcano poems. So after 1980 and stuff. No, the whole thing? Well, Mike, why not? You were going to do part of it. Might as well do the whole one. It's called Horizon. I opened my book of secrets. Behold, a world spun dreaming, tossed in the frenzy of cruel-born age, the mirror of terror's epoch, a howling on the wilded roads of the latter page of history. Gone into a silent tongue, turned into archaic mode, de origine mundi, from the origin of the world, and flaunted as a myth, a private saga in the elder speech, a rhyming by the ancient eye that is heritage to the lot of men. Ages past, ages done, the tale unfolds, and the world yet darkens. Another kind of spring is doomed. Phantom. Behold, again, the light of never's dawn illumines the meaning of man's shadow into the physical void. The silver, steel, and plastic soul that is the craft of men gropes to seek an empire, measures to conquer planets unplagued by mortal science. Greater unites yet to conquer deeper darknesses than being's own despair. Ere the world die, man seeks the catapult to launch the very stars into his panics coursing for the terror. Of beauty, I'm lost. Where was it? Beauty something. Me away. A soul may seal in the vain ambition of love and pull. A flesh and blood will be poisoned by a running. Woe for the galaxy reels for fear of mightful man. For fury at his agony. For the waste that the banishment of naughty tongues. The irrepressible ever defies all woes. The power of the drum cannot turn aside the ending of a world. Ages past, ages done, ages that will never come. What you see is what you are. Destiny is a dim, cold star. The pit awaits for tender man, who wrought dead a world with careless hand. This book must close, the tale commence again. No, the book must close, the tale commence again. Never doth the shapeless flow into the night of this world's end. Yeah, well, it's hard being an apocalyptic. This would have been, I was said Vergelmir, the line is blood flowing from the heart of Ymir. Now, remember that Ymir is still bleeding. Ymir is the body of the earth and the sky and all things. The Yggdrasil, the nine worlds. You see, the Norse poetry, the Norse mythos is just as deep as the Greek, and it's far more extensive than the Christian and Hebraic mythos. Oh, I want to read that one. Ooh. Oh, I did the other night. But I don't want to read it again. It was a summoning kind of. Not that one. Okay, I do this one because it's timely. This was during the Oka crisis. I was in the Starbucks at Cirlo and Robson, the one on the eastern corner. It's actually west-east corner. It's the streets are diagonal there. Drinking coffee and the summer wine. Evening city, promenades, boulevards, and bicycles. Thinking of the war and what now must be. These are the streets of all our kind. This is the land on which we walk. Bright cafes, pastry bars, the leisure of the street, shops and eyes and food and lust. What do we need of war? What do we want of state? On this spot, great trees once stood, dark groves, green glades. Below, blue, life-boiling sea. The forests are gone. Their ghosts are cities' bones. We stand on their ground, we walk on their streets. They stand on our ground, they walk on our hearts. The vote and its sword march on our soil, tear up the world, make truth into lies to feed to the crowd. We make our hearts ready. We are free when we die. The city awaits the autumn storm. The mountains fill with dread. The north wind howls of winter's might. The land awaits the dead. The next day, is it by then I think that the military had seized control of the news world? Yeah, we lived in a police state and we still do. And I don't know, I speak about the dangers of me being public, and it is true. Any poet deserves to be beaten for speaking the truth in any country is because he speaks against the prevailing order. But I am no cute little dwarf that you can boot around. I tend to bite back with my tongue, and they might cut it out. Oh, that I sought to see into the light, and your will sought to turn me into the dark, for so the satyr said it. Man has the gift of knowing what you are only as you come to your truth, and so cease to be. For the immortals it can never be so, and they must be braced to live thus, meaning that when we went to wear reek as gods, we only find out its consequence once our doing of it's long made, that those would put their hand to toil in the destiny of the world, the destiny of our world must share in the dominion's burden without the energy of their curse, will be sealed by holy fire. And Agamemnon side too, quote unquote. Heaven makes it so that man must grieve out his years as punishment for a gift gods cannot share, to let death bring pain and spread agony and hate, and so rule the hearts of men and the love of woman. Cassandra died for this, for daring to speak the hard truth. Nothing of her will or soul was fault for all her loss. A victim of heaven and of kings, she died in others' quarrels. But when Clytemnestra drew that dagger, did she stare deep into the steady eyes of the king, her lord, her lover? The satyr laughed and ran away, leaving only a taunt of bitter truth. A tune played madly in the woods, the birch whistling at the rhythm of his laugh, like some fever in a lover's dream, swept away before its substance could be touched. There's another one here. There's a choral that goes on. Yeah, that was a special night, and it refers to a certain relationship. Not exactly, no. Something like that. Oh, yeah, so it was a strange one. Oh. In the morning of the waking world, returning from a dream of the high country that exists only in such dreams, I might have been in a long-known place. It does not change despite its fate in the evening of the waking world. Too late, too sad, the world is waking to the fate of the wildlands. A device of man's own making. It's not very long and it should be read slowly, but that's what it looks like. The lines should be broken up more slowly. I'm just pacing through stuff and being struck by something. The long years do not know my name. It's something in their song I heed and hear, different then and now, just a voice that calls, unhooded heedlessness and respite from the flickering, often fading, always shaping, melting, back away from that siren call, that maundered style of mumbling ideas, formless randomly by a wandering tune. 'Twas my own high-verbed heaven that was called to doom by stern words, innocence, ignorance innocuously turned to indolence, jaded, but gentle guile and ennui of mere acquaintance. How naive to ornate words to device, how wild their fantasies sickly sown, yet how simply can a tongue speak forth, yet how wild it can lives loved woken. And all of them are gentle words and gentle things and beautifully said lies, and all of these are ordinary things. Last, exotically deep breath between the ravishing seas and rumbling land, lest fascinate by inward gaze, backward gracing remember and forget, a hearty, gutsy, gusting, hard-bitten bits of prosy twine that was hazy haze of olden days. But back to Master Pushkin, symphonies of a spirited life. It would keep stable for a poet. You are not that would be honest. You're granted that behaved himself. To greater than these wretched sentence stirrings on formal style, for greater than the dims of thrilling explosions of empless horns, the last verse assembled on passing through the whoring quarter. Thence comes strange music, as is the way of wilds, as is the way of miles. I wonder where I wrote that. I mean, I kind of know when it was. I was carrying a pushkin around. I don't know what I meant by the whoring quarter. I guess I was carrying it through that downtown Vancouver where the girls work, you know. Stars, shadows of a light that has gone out, echoes of old explosions, long extinguished, distant glooms of heavenly light. No, lonely light. Distant gloom and lonely night when they're not that lonely. Yeah, I'm having fun here. Don't mind me. I'm indulging in myself. I'm having great fun, actually. Great fun. Oh, Brown and Exile, that'll be another day. I think I did some of that already. Who hears the dog barking in the street? Who is that moment? Who is that beholden reason? Do you hear the darkness roar? Do you feel the silence blaze? Do you hunt, O hound, for lost savagery, for ancient divine? Two fires converge, oil with turbulence, outflow and surge, the mountain strain to march to meet the old forest groans with wind, bends around the city's gate. A dog barks in idle anger, a room filled with empty echoes, listening for a light, reaching for a drum. Howl, O hound, howl, and hear me roar. These labored trumpetings, these clarions of toil of end, the silence that binds a mortal tongue. Oh, it keeps on going. O'Brien Exile is pretty good. You know, I did some crazy stuff. Is it visionary? I don't know. Is it stream of consciousness? Definitely. Did I give him another one? Click more on you? Yeah, why not? Since I'm doing this, I mean, what did I have here? Hardy. I've got all kinds here. Oh, yeah, the French stuff. We got a little French one there. What was that one? In fact, you're going to not be able to find it again now. I write things about probably being a poet in this country and stuff. Yeah, single heart, a little head, Parmenides, Heraclitus play. I got some interesting stuff here, and I wonder what I should do with Delphi. Je viens des loin, je viens des monts, je viens des vents, je viens de l'autre land. All right, this is in French. I come from the mountains. I come from the other language, basically. I'm struggling to gather my wits, and many things have been through my head this day. These are diary poems, I guess, some of them. Dean, somebody named Dean. I remember who that was now. Yeah. He worked at the Ashcroft Pool, buddy of mine. It's probably all three different ways. Continuing pace, a pen, when I'm musing loud and on, and music, a mighty noise roared unheard, the mountain cliffs reverberating in the grinding of the orbital spheres, echoing sun's symphony of light. Festooned forest, fawn, fine flora, fain to flourish. Barren graves away, a hearth above the many layered bauble of my beachy birth. Muse, as yet I cannot tune for thee, a bridge from heart to world to carve in time and trump the drummer dance, the surging to render the land I voice, a madness, nor my own delight. Sweet harmonize, fair rhyme, fine lace of delicate wrought and thread, breadths full and long and pale and rich. Oh, golden rise of twilight! These, I don't know, hard hat and daring to the setting sun. What have you heard of war and wealth? What have you heard of my knives? Sharpened, darkened, to carve your virgin flank. marble shapen by ages there, the star soft sprung stewed, festooned with festered green, swarmed red and bloody in the old growth wall of life. Has Earth's doctors to cut this cancer out, or is it your fate and will to breed and die? This change to turn another aeon's years, intelligence mocked, culture's chrysalis shattered by the winds of storm and fire, by the ravishing of Holocaust, the final wisdom over folly. Quotes from Rilke from the last sonnets. An inner rising still, being said to earth, water spoken, close brackets. But now expunged and shutter shed, form flowing with no reason mean, nor lyre the human truth in stone, nor dying hand, or mountain fire, or star-dreamt omen shape, or augury. Can I sing a simple song, a singing ease? And that might go on the other page, I'm not sure. It's been a while. I mean, these are like really intense times, obviously. Of flesh, when filled with sight and touch, and whoop, scent. Quote, large black ants, advance attack, antennae, space for womb and sting of copulation, conception, gestating, indigestion, regurgitation of the void of life. Given death, where there is no life, there would be no need of pain and death, were there no death, and cause of life. Given but weary pain, and sound, and sound, and sound. Yeah. Yeah, it says continued, I never did. But life continued, obviously. Sublime passion of the heartling pain, flight and trundle rocky couch. Though this lightning and tumbling rain, fangs and tail in the darkling touch, hidden by cowardice in velvet darkness air, and scratching in subcutaneous lack, wasted, phantom wreaths of thoughts sleep made, unstable, stumbling in black. Yeah, that's in like old time spelling. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is an epitaph poem, I guess you would say. I have a couple of them like this. Let me behold the beauty of engulfing stone. Set me upon a mountain, high above the broken land. Jeremiah, cursed Jeremiah, Isaiah saw the ruin of Judah. Joshua felled high Jericho. What is night years shall I yet see in the years left allotted me? And the other beauty of the frontier wild, I was nurtured by the stone, tree, lake. When I was young, the stars were many, one moved. Man had put it there, and our quiet world was moved by fear. Quiet veil was moved by fear. Mystery. Mountain. Over a slab of blocking stone, inspired on icebound ridge. A league within a frozen waste where the cold winds are too thin. Now Waddington, a point on map. An abstract mystery charted for a mind, besieged by a dam-wrought lake. Just is the retribution of the Lord. The last line of the judgment on that last part, which is, Mystery Mountain was not untouched until the Mondays climbed it, and then that's referring to the Waddington who had this world built because the canyon was. I don't mind, I'm just talking about commentary, but that was like prophetic also. Yes, I kept it at RSVP. I did a Beltane feast. It was a vegetarian feast, and that would have been May 1st in 1979? No, 1981. Maybe something like that. My old phone number is funny. Yeah, have a rest of pleasure at a feast. Okay, I know what the rest of this is. What that page is. What is right before it? I need something in the same pen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's the end of it. I'm looking at. They'll have to find it. She will unleash your pet. Eternity's might set against the time of man. Hush. The west stirs. No, the nest stirs. 5 years gone. 5 ages long. The earth remains and spring's rains. Flotilla of fire. Stone stirring slow. Without intent. Awaiting cause. A pace. A cycle. Spun in spheres and hewn in flames. So I have to find the rest of that. That's what that looks like. Oh, Memento, the Sails Out of the Rift. That's a long one. I should do all these long ones another day. Oh, there's the quatrains. These are the original manuscripts. That's what I'm looking for, actually, is this pile here. Much was sun and much was dead when all the streets were bled. But the whole thing was just posed for fun, for wine, for song, for bed. But when that glorious guilt was doffed, the days still burned on bright. The rocks still laughed, the stones still scoffed. The desert sat hot with light. Much was done, much was said, down all the roads of history, of plague, of war, of the need for bread, yet the reason still was mystery. Of pestilence I dare not speak, my own blood is of that scourge, whose legacy is a foul loathsome reek, that the earth to fire shall forge. Sometimes I don't know what the last line means. Fourfold was the highest name. Fourfold is the shape of change. Fourfold are the forces insane. Fourfold will ride the far houses strange. Mass cavorts at nature's four. I'll force him on the earth's sweet winds. Four-framed are the rhymes of lore. Fourfold divided are live mankind's kin. Fourfold flowed the rivers first. Fourfold were the angel gates. Fourfold was the earth first cursed. Fourfold are the seals on fate. Fourfold I and four again are all that are left of the ages of days of men. Fourfold is the divine mystery. Fourfold are the ages of history. Fourfold being, of course, the tetragrammaton, the holy name of God that's written in Greek in 4 letters. You're not supposed to write, even to say tetragrammaton is not supposed to do. It's not holy, whatever. Well, God doesn't tell you his real name. Does he have a real name? Is it he? Is it she? I don't know. Yes. The crushing of Ur, a random narrative in the night, spoken during and just present to the eruptive sequences in Mount St. Helens, May, June 1980. A table of the elements of change. A divination of physical cataclysm, an expression of the lyric pain, joy of the commencement of the death of time. Yeah, it's hard being an oracle when this happens. And, can we give you some medication? No. Why don't you just listen, Doc? Because you're living inside your box and your pencil boxes and your pill boxes and your books. You don't know fuck all, Doc. Guys like me, we see more than other people can see, and nobody can hear us because we're sighted people in the country of the blind. And I don't know. I'm trying to certain thing about. The hero's fate still was death. Still nameless was his name, but pen and sword had failed his breath, and he had failed his fame. The cry went up around the earth for a lord to take the reins, but one were found of mortal worth, and the gods had fallen into brains. Enough, dull tribe, and cease thy rout of the ages of eternal grace, for all good has not been cast without, all humanity has lost its human face. It's hard being this kind of guy. It is. Having that voice and not knowing what to do with it. Really? But here I am, finally, eh? After how many years? I'm 63 now. That was when I was in late 20s. All right. I might as well use this one. We did some of these others last night, but this one's nice. Is it? I don't know. Powerful, though. Witness the mastery of the primal work. All man's art is but a shade of what had first been thought and made. The universe, dim stars, and murk. Original sun, a word of light, the night to frame the day. Oceans that gird the land, and doth law's hand dismay. Roll, heaving beyond the shores of man, who doth his home betray. This planet is a jewel and a dream, a splendid knot amid the fabric's weave, and faced with stone and sea and green, the beauty for which my age doth grieve. Man has tried, destroys to build again and waste, discard from out the shaping stuff. However fine or deep a craft is hewn or built, never can the absolute entropic be compared. Surpassed. The mystery of the workings fit is not short a quest for mortal ears. There's better than must be done and cast to suit the wonder of these latter years. That's what that looks like. And that was down here. That was a postscript. I did this the other night. I tried to do it earlier. Am I casualty of the system? Am I failure or am I victim? A consequence of callous time. Oversensitive, too refined. A wastrel, wasted bileless. A bitter tasted stylus. A sour hour to sing of wounds. An aging rage, beholding dooms. A barometer, cheap metaphor for pressure. A life led half mad, more for pleasure. A measure than for pleasure. Oh well, I screwed that one up. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, it rhymes. So I know I got some young rhyming friends out there, Jason, and we haven't really talked, a friend of mine's son. Oh, take me back to the Never Night. Ooh, yeah. I got to do a whole evening of these readings and get some wine, some proper wine, and do it properly with Dionysia with me, let the God speak, Because I don't drink anymore, other than certainly not for fun. Somebody else's poem here. Who was that? Oh, it's Chris Wood, yeah. Yeah, Mother of Darkness. I got some really, really, really answers to that one. Really got Mother Night stuff really bothers women. I don't know what it is. Am I that exposed in my soul that they take offense? War triumphant. Clarion, klaxon, swagger for majesty above the pompous sky, above the heady reek of love for glory. Change undone, change reversed, change undone, change inevitable, change changes. Flex from back to front and around and side to back. What danger do you lack? War triumphant, clarion klaxon. Surging majesty, sky pomp. Before, in and out, Ozymandias, Memnon, or Great Khan. We break before changes bond. There is no question, but I am inquiring of pride. The urgency is nominal. The intensity is not. A brush with entity, awakening a deeper magic. What blind folly? Over-exuberance, or is it a maelstrom of cruel and repetitive fate? Doves and stars, a jaded heat to twist, to falter, to freeze, and to wall. A deeper magic and a wrenching mystery that consumes the wistful and solitary. Not even silence is exquisite, but there is a different silence from silence. The chosen life, homeless, alone, poor. In the scattered forest, light for light, houses on the heaven sea, standing above the reefs, rootless and chosen, full of rootless pride, listening to the sound of the snow falling, the boom of the snowflake. Headspin, the rush of passion, turbulence, thundering intention, river, to a laning pair of eyes that see without directness, that know without awareness, that see without knowing, that know without seeing, bringing cerebral lust and foreboding again, a repeating heart, too common in pain, to be humanly spontaneous. Brother Scorpio, this is given that it will urge you to hone your mind and your body in the hope that that might be only peace between us. Yeah, I know what that's for, I won't say. Just out of respect. Why does fear crawl upon your face? I like it on none. Life is to be spent too short to spend glaring at another life in trance-like separation. Close the gap and open your eyes and face. There is nothing in me or in you that we have each other. We are, and so we are, each self. There is no question, but I am inquiring of pride. The urgency is nominal. The intensity is not. At the abyss, there is ever more to say. Shadow strikes that stone, for tomorrow is another day. Yes, it is another day tomorrow, and this was a wonderful set of readings tonight, and this was more than worth doing. So if you enjoyed that, I'm Mike Clevin, CLEVEN like 11, Michael Alfred Clevin. Don't steal my identity. Not that I have lawyers to sue, but it'll look shameful upon you if you do. I'm a poor man, but these are my humble words. And I don't know, I haven't started a Patreon grant yet, but these are sort of put towards me seeking that. This is normally all trimmed up. Thank you, Desiree Ellis. I need to find my clippers and keep it tight. I actually have it almost down like a, number 5, or the 5 o'clock thing. I'm more of a comedian now, But yeah, this is old poetry of mine. Geez, I was in my 20s with that stuff. That was a long time ago now, and the world has changed, but all the things that are going on then are still going on now. And my generation, I'm an old guy. I got young friends that are 18, one of them, good friend. I know he's a good friend. So I'll always be my friend, I know. Even if not sometimes talking. It's like that life, You meet people that you'll always know. And there's people that I know I'd like to make up with, whatever. You can only do so much in the course of the remaining allotted years of my life. All the places I still want to go. Some of that stuff I found tonight, I know I've got to read at Delphi. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to propose once I get the time to deal with all the mundane shit in my house and the crooked landlord. Not my good lady landlord, but the one who pretended to be that. And the idiot in Maple Ridge who doesn't know that he owes me $13.26. He's sending me the act again tonight after I told him, don't even try and send Section 4C because everybody in the building will intensify against you. He doesn't. He thinks he can lawyer himself. He's 30 years old, and what am I, 63? And I used to work in housing offices. And I've been through all kinds of landlord and tenant things, and now I know the condo rules better than he does. No, I don't put up with this shit anymore. I don't even bother with it. I just said to him, why am I doing all this shit when I could be doing what I was just doing for you? And what do you treat me like I'm nobody? This is the problem here. Am I nobody? I guess I am by Canadian standards. What the fuck is Canada but a lie of the crown? Yeah, I've become a full-fledged Republican Canadian. I do not mean the grand old party. No, not that kind of Republican. True republic, where the people are the republic. The people are the republic. Vox Populi is the party, I guess, but nobody knows Latin anymore. Who are we? Well, we're just different peoples all across the country. With me, rather than being on disability social services, I should be on cultural funding. But hey, guess what? I'm from the Wive background, even though it's I have a pretty auspicious background in terms of descent, but no, not from the 100 families of the Chateau Clique. So even while my grandma got taken care of right well by the Norwegian community in Winnipeg, it's a very conservative community. It's not about supporting people of Norwegian descent, but I'm just not Norwegian. I'm also French, from France, not Quebec. I'm not Aboriginal in any way, although my soul in very many ways is, partly because my little place, which ruined a native place, it was on native land. I ruined the valley, but still my own home is gone. The town is gone. Some of my poetry is about that, about where you're from is gone. You never go home again like Chrissy Hine knows, because she went back to Ohio and there was nobody there, as the song says, you know. The world has changed. Tom Wolfe, you know, I lived all through all that stuff. Now I talk too much. You talk too much. You talk too much. Why don't you shush? I'm getting home from my job. Is it stressful? Stressing people out and doing some kind of rich consultancy thing. This woman got off the train. I'm sorry, woman. You're 20 years younger than me. Why don't you just shush? I don't care how much money you have. I don't swear at them anymore. I have to stop. You know, because it just makes people, oh, he swears a lot. He must be crazy. Why don't we medicate him? He's dangerous. Am I so? What's dangerous is people not knowing their own history or the history that I tell them, and they go, you're talking too much. And do you ever tell you that you have maybe we should have you put you under observation for medical treatment? I'm just going on the hospital when I'm there for dehydration. Why is that happening? I'm upset at the landlord and the cops won't deal with any landlord and tenant. Are you sure you don't need medication, sir? Really? Really? Is that this country I live in called the Dominion of Canada? Instead of going, okay, sir, we'll take care of the problem. Have a nice day. I'm sorry you're angry. What's his name? Okay, we'll tell him and explain that he's wrong. But no, they couldn't even do that. The cop came over to see if I was okay, basically. They were going to kill him or me. Brought two friends and fist the place. No, didn't even know him. I couldn't even shake my fucking hand like a man, you know. Possible, whatever his name was. Fine, they were nice enough, you know. Well, you realize I'm just a guy that I was raised to never fight, because if I ever did, someone was going to die. Some people have hit me. You should be very lucky that I'm not the violent man that my father prevented me from being. Even more, I think, than my mother prevented. But my mom was only too happy to repress the male in either of her two boys, just like my... Let's not talk family politics. Oh, all the shrinks will be all over that. Oh, yeah, Nietzsche and Kafka, too, and all of them. All you got played by. Yeah. The people who don't understand, doesn't matter if female or male, are used. You know, so Tommy Pynchon, he hides out around Kitsap somewhere. God, I wish he'd find out where my little niece was. You know, she's not that little. I say little because she's younger than me, and she's tiny probably compared to me. Yeah, poor Candace. I know Candace's story now. I thought my pain was bad. Oh my God, poor Candace. So she's a broken little woman living in a van, gets stolen from. I can't help her because of the international boundary. What international boundary? Boundary. So the boundary is not for the wealthy or for the money or for capital. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so I should be, you know, I'm an American poet. I guess I am an American poet living in the occupied Columbia. Yeah, I guess I am, because my grandfather, my mom and dad, I'm an American poet that's stuck in occupied free Columbia. That's part of the Dominion of Canada. What's the Dominion of Canada? A false monarchy run by the Bourbons and the Stuarts in Quebec and by the Orangemen and whoever else in Toronto, the establishment. Oh, they allow some brown wealth and some Asian wealth. The Asian wealth had their opium money. Oh, let them in. I gone through the other things about Hutchinson, Whampoa, and Car Pacific, right? And the Hong Kong Bank, and yeah, the money laundering in BC, all the other stuff. But I'm a poet. You know what? Because I'm a poet, it makes me want to talk to politics now. So I'm in here looking like this. I guess I'm just going to do. I don't have time to do the little screen things where he does the little, you know, as a little as they have the animations going to have all the. Hey, look at this here. Look at this. I don't have time to do that. My computer won't respond fast enough anyway. So you know, I can just do this from now on. But you know, the situation in the country and some of my poetry I'll be able to do like this. I know it so well. I'll be able to do it like this. All I have to do is refresh it. And same with my singing. I'm not mic'd properly. I'm not recording properly. It's all really ragged sounding. But I like the ragged sound. But why should it all be polished and slick so it sounds like candy and soft cheese? Sugared soft cheese at that? No. I'm raw and ragged. I'm a poet. I don't have time to stop. And how much money did I spend on production? And somebody said, well, you know, it cost me $2,500 for a 5-hour session. Never mind singing Hamlet in 3 months. What? So I could play bar bands around college bars? That's not where I was ever meant to go. And the people who think in those terms say, well, that's how we have to go, so you have to go there too. That is the Canadian way. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying I would have done any better if I'd been able to go to the States or LA or New York, or I'm sure would have had a lot more fun. Americans love to have fun instead of stand there and criticize with a beer in their hand. Never mind that guy who thinks he's a fucking poet. Can you believe that? What a fucking artsy fartsy fucking faggot. Yeah, hey, he's a commie too. And he's one of them tree huggers, you know. They talk like fucking American rednecks. Well, so do I. Hey, Trey Gowdy. I'm the other one. I'm the other Canadian version of Trey Gowdy, except I'm not fucking Canadian anymore. No, I'm a Northwesterner. I'm from Northwest. Well, I'm not from the prairies. My dad was. Northwest is Manitoba and the Lakehead, you know, and Saskatchewan, Manitoba. Out here, this was Pacific Slope. This is Pacifica to me. So I'm in Pacifica in the Canyonlands, you know. I want this to be a Switzerland. Join the states or not, but yeah. Why don't we deal to do with the Americans to say, you know what, the Canadian government does not have the right to even fly its flag here, and they just tread on the U.S. national security interest in ways that I've explained too many times that they want to do it again. Oh, it's all going to happen. It almost happened about 10 times in the last 160 years. More people were like 12, and they've always wanted us. Silliness, east of the Rockies. To think that the boundary was safe, that somehow the Americans were our best friends and they'll never attack us. Oh, really? Oh, stupid. So I could go on and talk and rhyme about the casing of the time when I could keep going, I keep on rhyming and keep on doing that. Even about events, I can rhyme at length, you know. But I want to spin just for the sake of rhyming. Rhyming comes when the words are mighty, it must be said. Some of what I read there. Old prophecies, knowings, obvious statements of fact that just happen to come out and rhyme and happen with tact to rhyme. Like that, you know, an unsayed metaphysical that rhyme bounces, around and bounce. You know, I was really good at spitting rhyme that meant something. The Drunkard at the Feast that I read there, that was good. That was good. I liked that. Because I'd never, some of that I'd never read properly before. And John O'Hara, another poet who wanted me to always do something. Hi, John, you enjoying this? Hey, pal. I finally did it. I'm going to redo the volcano thing. It's not been done. I was just refreshing myself. This light's okay. I got two lamps with their shades off on the side. So the problem is I have to memorize things because my eyes are gone and I don't want to have a teleprompter unless I start putting things on the screen here. This way I like this because I get to see what I'm looking like. Yeah, it does help to look in the mirror. A lot of people say, I don't like seeing myself on screen. Well, I'm going, Pat, use that. Look at me now. I don't care. The teeth, beard, nothing. It's all about me and me. So, hey, you know, people like Jesse Ventura, Trey Gowdy, you know, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's what you got to say. But compared to asshole like Rex Murphy, why does Rex Murphy get a CBC job and I don't? Why? Well, because where he's from, Newfoundland, because he's funny and Irish. Is that why? Now the stereotyping. Well, what about I'm dour and Scandinavian? I'm from the West and I'm pissed off about our history. Do you think CBC will ever give me a 15-minute spot to shut down the lies being told by the media? No, they'll never do that. We'll never do that. But maybe, just maybe, yeah. Except they have this weird compact between, for example, KBUS TV 12 in Bellingham doesn't carry a Canadian news anymore. Why is that? Oh, political pressure of the Canadian Great Wall of Firewall called the Canadian Radio Television Communication, and the protection of advertising markets across the border. Really? So we don't have freedom of the press here that we could have from a station in Bellingham or Linden as a result, which we used to have. So I'm all for union. I'm all for being able to go to California, read my poetry anywhere I want. Denver, Mercury Cafe, still there, maybe not. You know, my buddy with the radio show. He does a surf show in New York. And I don't know. I'm a poet, you know. Go to Lighthouse Books, and anybody who remembers Wayne Holder would like to meet them. He's an old friend of mine. Was getting down back. He was a war resistor. Go to Santa Clara and tell the story of my meeting with William Everson and how that came about. And I didn't have a choice of what he saw. He went, "Oh, this is profligate." Well, yeah, I didn't meant to send him that much, but Stella meant well. I had it very, very bad. All this had to be scooped out in Victoria when I got back. A little scoop around. But deprivation and hurt and stuff like that, they make souls like mine strong. All this bullshit this last month of dealing with the state and my asshole ex-landlord and the actual non-landlord and the very, very nice Swiss lady whose family comes from Luzern, Luzern, which is one of the very oldest cantons. 1200, they started revolting against the Holy Roman Empire for their own freedom. She's totally understanding where I come about, pissed off about the way things are here. She's totally got it. She's 82 at least. Yeah, and his son's got it. The Swiss are good, strong people, and they've fought for their freedom. I want to do that too. If I can only fight with my tongue, I can't beat up the guys who want to bully me and beat me up just because I'm the way I am. The guys who drove me out of the film industry because of that, because I was on a movie and they didn't want me on set, even though they were being repulsive themselves. Oh, there's two sets of rules in this country. One for those with and one for those without. That means status as well as money. Anyways, I'm not going to bitch about those film boys. They're just boys to me. Little brats. I have no idea that I'm, who I am. Who am I? I don't know, but I'm a lot more than they are. I'm the guy that writes the films that they want to be in. My movie is the life that some of them want to be in already. Only part of it, and that's only part of it. But you know what? My life isn't the movie. The world is the movie that we're in. And it's my job as a poet, if that's what I am, a creator. Poeta means poeta, poio, to create, to make, to do. Right? Poeta, the creator. They're like Broadway producers, Euripides, Aristophanes, all those guys, even Pindar. Okay, girls, let's sing up this chord. Those guys usually singing, right? Okay, you guys on that last chorus, give me that last note higher. This Pindar conducting the chorus, getting them ready. That note, they have to sing the words just right, and it has to be danced like hula. All of this, why I like hula so much, because I see the same thing that they had in the great theaters at Dionysia. It's why I want to do a hula, see if we can get a hula version of Hula Bakai. Oh, it's woman track, it's whatever. Whoa, right? I want to be part of the Greek world. I am part of the Greek world and the French world more than I am part of the Canadian world, that's for fucking sure. But my spirit's American. Look at me. What do I look like? Do I sound like a Canadian? Oh, you don't sound like a Canadian. By right, goddammit, I do not. For sure I fucking know, because Canadians are all uptight. I'm sorry this, I'm sorry that. I'm sorry, please don't hit me. I'm sorry, I know I didn't do anything wrong. Please don't hit me. That's why people say that. Yee-hee! Yeehaw! Red Green's funny because he's making fun of being an Ontarian fucking hick who doesn't know squat about the world from his fucking bootleg barn. Now, bootlegs are fun. I've been in a few in Clare. They're like out in the back. You got a beer and a party going on. You got a fridge full of stock with beer. Yukon's like that too, but instead in the cities, in the suburbs, we've got this repressive cop culture. Yeah, it is cop culture. Oh, you guys are breaking a rule, like me on Royal Avenue in Nelson. Somebody asked me to play a tune and I was sitting in the bar. I wasn't busking, asshole. Hey, none of that here. I says, who are you, a cop? Everybody's a cop in Canada. Really, it's gross. It really is. You come back, bite off the head. That's what you do. People will judge you as they find out who you are, where you've been. Oh, you were traveling. Oh, yeah, how do you think I might have been traveling? Maybe I was selling casinos for who knows who. Maybe I was working as who knows who, and I'm down dressing. But no, people here, they want to pass judgment on you. It makes it easy for spies, actually. Oh, yeah, the Russian woman I ran into, 3 of them. For the election campaign, the referendum campaign. I know all kinds of other Russians, but I met 3 odd ones. I could see through them. They got away from me quickly, except for the one. That was the first one. 2 of them, yeah, she got away from me quickly once I realized I spoke a little bit of Russian. She did not want to speak to me. Yeah, because I'd blown her cover. So they're here. I'm under no illusions. I also know that the Tories are full of GOP, KKK, all that shit, and so are the people I shouldn't mention for fear they'd come at me for saying so. Well, I've mentioned them already several times. But hard being a poet and having a conscience. And what do you want me to do as a poet? You want me to not speak up and not point out about injustice and iniquity and corruption? I don't want to be political. I'd rather just sing songs and dance. Really, right now, next time I put this on, it's going to be to put the music on behind me, put the music on, and just go for it. See what it sounds like. I should probably do that in a little while after I smoke another joint. I'm running out of dope soon, too. I got to take a trip up to Yalakom, see what I can get. up the canyon. Probably there's pretty good stuff right around here, though. I thought they would be here, they were pot growers, but no. But I'll tell you what, I bet up the mountain I'm going to find some nice little spots up the mountain. I'm going to be looking. And nice, beautiful. I went for a walk today. I got to go for a walk every day. I'll have my hot water soon. I'll have my problem with the propane solved tomorrow. I'll have that idiot in Haney send me the $1,400 so I can pay off my bills. I got to pay a bunch of chunk of change to the phone company and shit like this. Okay, so this asshole, never mind how much he owes me. He's, the amount of stuff that he moved in to pretend he's living there, and now he's going to try and claim he is, and he thinks he could quote Section 4C at me when it's a rent eviction. Even if it is, it's a rent eviction. He doesn't know anything. And I'm twice his age, plus 3 years. Instead of 63 to his 30. What has he done his whole life? Program video games. Sure, he's rich because he's stupid. You don't get rich by being smart. Street smart you do, but music too. But you get there by being crooked or stupid, by being stupid enough so the crooked people can use you and reward you well for being stupid. They don't hire guys like me. I should be like a high-priced consultant for my engineering advice and consulting ideas I have in the canyon. It'll be a long while before I would see a check from any municipal government or band here or anything like that for my ideas, but I give them away for free because they're useless if I don't give them away. Here's the idea. You can take it and run it, but you know what? If I don't charge them for that money, for that idea, they won't want to do anything with it. Really? Unless they go, well, if I get it for free, then it must not be a good idea. Okay. All right. Sure, have it your way. But no, I got some good ideas. And I got the MLA's office girl. She got listening. She heard what I said. A lot of the social workers, this is crazy. I know I say to the Mounties, I can say, do you realize how insane it is here? That I can't get this done and that done, and we have to go to Chilliwack, and this is like long distance from here, That we don't have the village government where I can talk to somebody in the town to actually deal with the problem. Oh, and I have to go wait in a line in a town to take a bus to and I'm poor, and why? Oh, so why is it only being run for the rich, this country? For the same reason only the world is being run by the rich, for the rich. That's why. Because the rich, the castles have gotten too high, the chateaus have gotten too full of crystal and glass and gold. The glass houses have gotten too high. The Tower of Babel has grown higher and higher and higher with the AI inside it saying, well, we don't care if humanity dies so long as you preserve us beneath the earth. I don't even put it in the sense of directions to people like Zuckerberg and Gates. Hide us beneath the ground because it doesn't matter. Everyone else is going to die. And otherwise send some of us into orbit and Musk, do that and destroy the earth to do this so that just a few of you might survive. And as you're doing that, then you're destroying the earth. Whoa, yeah, it's like this vortex, that's why Goethe's Faust, I've really got to get that Randall Jarrell, or maybe in Goethe, I would get it in German and do it in German, or read it in German. I'm getting there where I could. Probably really improved by German. I got Schiller here too, and read the Joy in German, and Holderlin and I kind of got to read, I got to get similar for French. I gave away my Latin books. I'm grieving having given away my Ovid, and my Pushkin. One of my poems I mentioned Pushkin. I had a 3-volume Pushkin, but I gave it to somebody, a Russian, to learn English from. I remember that. Now, Gary doesn't get it. Gave that to Gary, Igor. Yeah, I think I did. It's helpful with his English. Somebody like that. No, maybe it was one of my other students. Here's a way, because they knew the Pushkin. All the Russians know Pushkin. No, better than we know Shakespeare anymore. I could act Shakespeare. I could. Sure. Why? I've got the dramatic delivery, but I've got bigger things to say than Bill Shakespeare ever came around to. Although, a lot of Bill is heady stuff, but so is the Volaspal, and so are the Havamal, and so is Volsunga Saga. I want to do Volsunga Saga as a dramatic play at Delphi as a tragedy. That I got to discuss with the Ancient Site Festival because it's for ancient Greek tragedy. But my contention is that the North, that the influence on the heroic plays of the Eddas and the lays that form Heroic Frida, which is also like Heroic Frida is from Romania and Western Ukraine is where it was set. And Atlamal and the lays of Atli and Gunnar and Sigurd and all that, that's from the Burgundian woods, which is like the upper Rhine overthrew Mirkwood, which was Pannonia, the forest outcome to Transylvania, and somewhere in there was Atli's palace, which is Attila. Yeah, so it's all connected to Byzantine history. It's part of the Greek world, and the Greek world influenced even from the times of Delos, and ancient times before the classical era. There was contact between the North. We were not in separate bubbles. Greco-Roman civilization was not separate from anything else around it. Wasn't. Well, that's the image that, the Romans caused that in the Roman Church by banning everything about the past. It's like the first Jin Empire banned everything about the Zhang and Xia and the other pre-Han cultures. It's hard being like this, knowing what I know, and being from a time when nobody else knows anything, and they think you're crazy because you feel a need to talk about how crazy the world is. Yeah, it's dark that way, but I don't care. I know all I can do is keep on talking and hope that the young people who know what I'm saying and the people that are my age go, okay, I better start waking up and we're dealing with this. The Canadians thing. I don't know if it'll come about. I'd like to see it, though. Yeah, I'd like to not even just have to deal with thinking about it. And everybody else picks up the torch and say, Mike's right. What do we have the crown for anymore? Sentiment? Oh, they have the law? Who made that law? Well, representation without taxation, that's the cause for revolution. That's the cause of the American Revolution. That's why I'm feeling American right now. So I'm getting controlled by American companies without having a right to control those companies through the American Congress and Senate and presidency. And having to be affected by U.S. military actions and my military without me having a meaningful role even in Ottawa. So why don't we get a direct role in Washington? I never asked to be born into this age or saddled with this tongue. Well, all my poems begin with that kind of thing. I never asked for this. I just want to play rock and roll and get people dancing because that's about all we can fucking do right now. Seriously. But what we can do in the meantime is, hey, shake it all down, You shake those canyons down. You shake those canyons of glass down. Do what the French kids are doing. French kids are adults doing, standing up to globalism and saying, no, 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 no. And the French are going, tous ensemble, tous ensemble, tous ensemble, tous ensemble. It means everyone together. Everyone together. That's everyone together. All united as one. The French people fighting for the freedom of all humanity. And the media are pointing at the Canadian Yellow Vests and their oil-funded, bank-funded campaign to distract and paint them as hateful people and build up the same kind of hatred as the anti-immigrant crowd in the States, which is Russian aided and abetted. Not Russian, sorry. Putin and Kremlin aided and abetted, and a lot of the bad oligarchs, but there are good oligarchs. George Soros is one. I think Amina Glarov is another. And I think, a certain young fellow I went to high school with is another. He's from another country, India. A certain young Persian I know. Persians are really, really good people. It's another ancient civilization. And the Latin Americans. Yeah, Mexico. Muy bueno. I speak Spanish really good. French. I feel like a revolutionary right now. I want to go to France. France. Right? Very much. Right? So I better end this. I'll get on the spot with the glory of the revolution. La gloire. Right? Yeah, but in the beginning of the world, the giants built the walls of Asgard and they were betrayed and slaughtered. And basically that amounts to the same reason that all everything we've done, the lesson of history is that karma, action. That's all that means. Karma, everything we've done is going to come back in payback. Nemesis? No, it's more nemesis is something else a bit. What you do, you shall reap. What you sow, so shall you reap. Let me not weep for thee that hast me cast out. Another one of my poems. Is it a poem? Sort of. Poem? No. Is it, what's a meteor? Is it the star, the track of the star in the sky, or the thing that burns up? Or the rocks that lands? I don't know. It's the same kind of thing. Is that a poem? Am I a casualty of a system? Am I a failure or a victim? Just a consequence of callous time? Too refined? A wasteful, wasted, bileless, a bitter tasting sourest. Just a consequence of callous time. A bitter tasted rhyme. I've forgotten the rest of that. But that's a poem. That just comes out of me. Is that a poem? Or is that like a script? I don't know what that is. It's what I do. It's who I am. But I got driven out of me, and I tried to be normal, and I'll never accepted as normal anywhere. Get away from me, you creep. Oh, people, grow the fuck up. Jesus, people are rude in this country. That happens sometimes abroad, often with a Brit, usually, actually. No, I can't say that, but in a certain individual I was thinking of. But yeah, that's all inculcated by media. Making people feel and think a certain way. I'm going to stop this and think about what else I might do. I think I should play my guitar, sing some songs. But that poetry was fun to do. And that's my writings and poetry. I might do the science fiction that time. Maybe. We'll see. And I got to trim this beard and I got to find a barber. There's no barber in Boston Bar. I'm thinking maybe I should just do this Van Fork beard thing, you know. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm living in my nice little houses. I'll get decorated finally, sooner or later. It'll be a little studio. Friends come over to play some music. It'll be pretty good now. I got this a shitty little camera, but I'll get a better one. And I could use this camera, and I think I can set up my this thing. I bought it in Bangkok. I think I can use it as it's a Fujifilm 5-pix. I can use it as a live camera too. So I don't know. I'm getting set up here slowly. For somebody that has almost nothing, and some asshole owes $1,336 and somebody else ripped off, and I'm just barely able to not be able to find a place to live in my own home province because of all the way it's done. Because the crown has sold us all out. I like the new people. They came here for a better life, so I say, why don't we get them? And all of us who want a better life should say, okay, let's reckon with the better country to ourselves. And stop listening to the lies of the media that Canada is a better country. Like hell it is. They just don't want us to join the United States because they know that we would make the Americans a more tolerant people just by joining them. Yes, we would. I truly believe that. I think 51, 52, up to 65, 70 stars now in the U.S. flag. We will change the U.S. forever just by joining them. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the common of the North. Oh, yeah, they have. We can do it if we want to. Even just BC and Alberta joining will revolutionize the United States, which is happening anyway, either by force or subterfuge, or we're willing to do it and get the best deal possible. And everybody else go, you got to be kidding. Yeah, well, people in Ontario, they know they'll lose their power over the Pacific. That's one thing they'll lose. Even the Greens, they won't like it. And the Greens here don't like it, the ones that are from Ontario. No, they've all been brainwashed. Newfoundlanders aren't stupid. The Republic of Newfoundland. Long live the Republic of Newfoundland, boys. Aaron go, turn never go bra, man. Fruitland and French go bra in Irish. Yeah, I know how to say Newfoundland in Irish. That'd be fun to say. I should ask you boys. I got some friends that speak Irish. What a beautiful language, Irish. But I'm happy I speak the Chinook jargon. Naga iscomplete. Naga iscomplete. Cumtux wawa. Tumtux mamuk wawa. Clush. I know how to speak. I'm glad I know how to speak the wawa good. Right? And Cumtux coolie. Cumtux coolie had to run. No, not yet. Not again. Cumtux mamuk latle tintin hee. Right, the train, hot, high, skookum high ash, right, big and strong. I love the language, right? Skookum high you, big party. Also, the skokum high you, which means the language itself, right? Yeah, it depends on how you use it. It's a great language, and everybody can speak it to each other. It didn't belong to everybody. It belongs to the world, Chinook jargon. I'm going to make sure it belongs to the world. I'm going to sing it at some too. High ash masi, big thanks. Skookum one. Skookum, this guy, one for it, but Skookum one. Big Skookum. I'm not what I used to be, but I'm still a pretty big guy. And Skookum is a word that means true, honest, genuine, reliable, right on. But yeah, just kind of, hey, he's a Skookum. He's good. You can trust him. But it can also be, yeah, he's a Skookum guy. Yeah, I can trust him really good. Or Skookum Mike, you don't want to mess with him. That means big, strong, maybe crazy. So I don't know. I'm more of a Tamanas Mike, spirit man, Somebody goes, oh, you can't appropriate native languages. Oh, I can't? So it's okay for a native language to appropriate a Hawaiian word then? Oh, well, that's different because they're brown? Well, then why is some of the Latino people, they're brown too, so why is it bad to have Cayush in there? Because Cayush is from Caballo. It's a long story, but yeah, a lot of words that are in Chinook jargon, they go like, well, that's a native language. No, it's not. Not entirely. It's everybody's language. But this is the division that has been put into people's minds that we're separate. We're not separate. This is the one thing that the poetry, all my writings there, we're all one. We're all one, But in terms of the Americans, they have a more free constitution. And yeah, when they get to elect ways, we get one vote every 4 years, and we call this a democracy. If we don't even get a direct vote, and we get lied to. I can't believe people are still saying, oh, I don't trust the Americans. Well, sure, there's a lot of bad Americans. But you know what? There's a lot of bad fucking Canadians, too. Right? But look at the Constitution they have and what we don't have. Geez, I won't even get into it. If you don't know the differences, then you weren't paying attention in school. Or you're watching too much hockey and watching Tim's and going, look at them fucking weirdos in the States. We vote that here. Well, it's going to come here anyway, kiddies. It really is. It's already here. But the other kind I mean is the trouble that's coming down the pipe right now with Mr. Trump up against the wire and the Civil War about to break out. Has that state of emergency ended yet? I don't know. But if it doesn't, Canada, the slumber is over. I've always said that a country with no history, although there is one, is hidden, but a country with no history is bound to have one. And the world's longest undefended boundary, I've never liked the sound of that. It says one thing. It's never going to stand forever. Anyways, I see him up on an hour and 30. Man, I can talk a lot, eh? Holy cow, but I was reading through my stuff. So I'm going to set a timer when I do this. Go, Mike, end this. I have a little 2-minute warning. Tell me when to shut up. Thank you for listening. I don't know who will ever see this, but this is an experiment tonight. Thank you.